Chosen One. In the quiet hours before dawn, when the city of Karachi still slept under a blanket of humid darkness, Aisha sat alone on the rooftop of her family's old apartment building. She was 28, a schoolteacher by day, but tonight, or rather this early morning, she felt something far heavier pressing on her soul. She had done it almost without thinking. Yesterday, in the crowded market near Sadar, she had seen him, an elderly man, frail and hunched, begging silently with eyes that had long forgotten hope. The crowd flowed around him like water around a stone, ignoring, stepping past, some even muttering complaints about beggars ruining the streets. Aisha's salary was modest. Rent, groceries, her mother's medicines ate most of it. Yet something inside her cracked open when their eyes met. She emptied her purse, every last rupee, into his trembling hands. It wasn't much, perhaps enough for a few days' food and shelter, but she gave it all, then knelt, took off her worn dupatta, and draped it over his shoulders against the evening chill. "Allah will provide," she whispered, her voice steady despite the knot in her throat. Then she walked away, empty-handed, lighter somehow, as if she had shed an invisible weight she hadn't known she carried. That small act, unnoticed by the world, had rippled upward. In the celestial halls beyond mortal sight, where time folds like silk and light hums with purpose, the Council of Archangels convened in emergency session. The golden chambers, usually serene, thrummed with an unfamiliar urgency. Gabriel stood at the center, his wings folded tight, holding a shimmering scroll that pulsed with living light. "The protocol has stood unchanged for millennia," he declared, voice like distant thunder. "Intervention only when the balance teeters on annihilation. Direct aid reserved for prophets, for cataclysms, for the final trumpet. The chosen are guided subtly, whispers, dreams, coincidences, never overt." Michael, sword still sheathed but hand resting on its hilt, nodded gravely. Yet today, one of the marked souls acted beyond the expected measure. The scroll unfurled of its own accord. Images danced across its surface. Aisha's face in the market, the moment she chose compassion over self-preservation, the old man's eyes filling with tears he had not shed in decades. Then the aftermath, how that single act of surrender had sparked a chain. The old man, strengthened, had shared a meal with another beggar. That beggar, moved, had returned a lost wallet to its owner. The owner, a businessman weighed down by guilt, had donated to an orphanage he had long ignored. Ripples upon ripples, spreading faster than any angelic calculation had predicted. Raphael, healer of heaven, spoke softly. Her heart aligned perfectly with the divine will, not out of duty, not for reward, but purely. No fear of lack, no calculation. In that instant, she became a conduit wider than we anticipated. The council fell silent. Even the eternal stars outside the chamber seemed to lean in. Uriel, keeper of wisdom and records, consulted the ancient ledger. "She is one of the chosen, marked before birth for a time such as this, but the protocol assumed gradual awakening, trials, lessons, slow unveiling. This was instantaneous alignment. Her act carried the frequency of pure love, unfiltered. It has raised the collective resonance beyond the threshold." Gabriel's gaze swept the assembly. Heaven's protocol was designed for a world asleep, but what happens when one awakens so fully, so suddenly, that the sleepers begin to stir en masse? The old rules no longer suffice. The veil thins faster. Signs will multiply. Miracles will no longer hide behind coincidence. The chosen ones will feel the shift in their bones. Michael stepped forward. "Then we change the protocol, not out of whim but necessity. From this moment, direct confirmation is authorized for the chosen ones. No more veiled hints. When they act in alignment, heaven will answer, clearly, unmistakably. Dreams will become visions, whispers will become voices, protection will become shields of light. A ripple of agreement passed through the council. The scroll flared brilliant white, rewriting itself. New clauses appeared in letters of living fire. Amendment 1. Any chosen soul demonstrating unconditional surrender shall receive immediate celestial acknowledgement. Amendment 2. The frequency of divine intervention increases proportionally to the collective acts of love initiated by the chosen ones. Amendment 3. The old limitation of subtlety is lifted. Heaven will now move openly where the chosen move boldly. As the final line etched itself, a soft, triumphant sound echoed.
In the heart of Karachi, where the Arabian Sea's salty breeze mingled with the ceaseless hum of rickshaws and street vendors, lived Aisha Malik. At 28, she was a woman of quiet resolve, teaching English and mathematics to wide-eyed children in a modest government school in Lyari. Her days were a rhythm of chalk dust, lesson plans, and the faint aroma of her mother's spiced tea. But beneath her composed exterior lay a soul weary from unspoken burdens, her father's early death, her mother's chronic illness, and the relentless grind of a city that demanded more than it gave. It was a sweltering Tuesday afternoon in June when the event unfolded, though to Aisha it felt like any other day. The Sadar market buzzed with life. Women in colorful salwar kameez haggling over bolts of fabric, men sipping chai at roadside stalls, and children darting through the crowds like minnows in a stream. Aisha had ventured out during her lunch break to buy medicines for her mother. Nothing extravagant, just the essentials her meager salary could afford after rent and bills. As she navigated the throng, her eyes caught on a figure slumped against a graffiti-covered wall. He was an old man, perhaps in his 70s, his clothes threadbare and stained, his beard a tangled white cascade. His begging bowl sat empty at his feet, and his gaze, hollow, defeated, scanned the passers-by without expectation. The crowd parted around him as if he were invisible, a ghost haunting the living. Whispers floated by. These beggars are everywhere. Probably a scam. Don't encourage them. Aisha paused. Something in his eyes tugged at her, a silent plea that echoed her own hidden pains. She thought of her father, who had worked tirelessly as a fisherman until the sea claimed him, leaving her family adrift. She thought of the Quranic verses her mother recited each evening, and whoever saves one, it is as if he had saved mankind entirely. Her purse held exactly 5,000 rupees, her entire remaining salary for the week. It was meant for groceries, a new pair of shoes for school, perhaps a small treat for herself. But in that moment, hesitation dissolved. She approached him slowly, kneeling to his level so their eyes met as equals. "Assalamu alaikum, Baba," she said softly, her voice cutting through the market's din. His eyes widened slightly, surprised by the address. Without a word, she opened her purse and poured every note and coin into his bowl. It wasn't a fortune, but in Karachi's economy, it could mean shelter, meals, maybe even a doctor's visit. Then, feeling the evening breeze pick up, she unwound her dupatta, a simple cotton scarf embroidered with faded flowers, and draped it gently over his shoulders. "May Allah bless you with warmth and peace," she murmured. He clutched the fabric, tears tracing paths down his weathered cheeks. For the first time in years, he spoke. "Dwain, beti, Allah tumhe hamesha kush rakhe." Blessings, daughter. May Allah keep you happy always. Aisha stood, her heart pounding, not with regret, but with an inexplicable lightness. She walked away empty-handed, weaving through the crowd toward home. Little did she know, her act had ignited a spark that would transcend the mortal plane. Far beyond the veil of human perception, in the luminous expanse of the celestial realms, the Council of Archangels assembled in the Grand Hall of Eternity. This chamber, forged from starlight and divine essence, floated amid nebulae that pulsed with the rhythm of creation. Golden pillars etched with the histories of worlds rose endlessly, and at the center stood a vast orb, the nexus of souls, where every human action rippled like stones in a cosmic pond. Gabriel, the messenger, presided with wings of radiant silver unfurled. In his hand, he held the protocol scroll, an ancient artifact inscribed with the immutable laws governing heavenly intervention. "Brethren," he intoned, his voice resonating like a symphony of bells, "the protocol has guided us since the dawn of free will. We whisper guidance to the chosen, those marked for pivotal roles in the grand tapestry. We orchestrate coincidences, plant dreams, avert disasters subtly. Direct interference is forbidden, lest we undermine the gift of choice." Michael, the warrior, paced with his flaming sword dimmed but ever ready. His armor gleamed with the light of 1,000 battles. "Yet today, one of the marked has shattered our projections. Observe." The Nexus orb shimmered, projecting holographic visions. Aisha in the market, her moment of surrender, the old man's gratitude. Then the chain reaction unfolded in vivid detail. The old man, invigorated by the unexpected kindness, rose and shared half his windfall with a young street child nearby, buying them both a hot meal from a vendor. The child, touched by the gesture, later found a lost phone in the gutter and returned it to its owner, a hurried shopkeeper who had been on the verge of despair. The shopkeeper, moved by the honesty,
The ripples accelerated. The neighbor, a tailor, used the relief to donate clothes to a local orphanage. One orphan, inspired, helped an elderly woman cross a busy road, preventing an accident. That woman, a retired nurse, volunteered at a clinic, treating a man who would go on to organize a community cleanup drive. Each link in the chain amplified the initial act, raising the vibrational hum of the city, subtly at first, then palpably. Crime dipped slightly that evening. Acts of courtesy multiplied. Even the air seemed charged with unspoken goodwill. Raphael, the healer, with wings of emerald and gold, leaned forward. "This is no ordinary kindness. Aisha's soul is one of the 144,000 chosen, preordained beacons in times of shadow. But her alignment was flawless. No ego, no expectation of reciprocity. She embodied the divine frequency of unconditional love. Our models predicted a gradual awakening through trials, loss, doubt, revelation. Instead, she leaped forward in a single bound. Uriel, the archivist, consulted the infinite ledger, a boundless tome floating before him, pages turning with a thought. The collective resonance of Earth has risen 0.07% in mere hours. Extrapolate. If replicated by other chosen ones, the tipping point for global awakening could arrive centuries ahead of schedule. The veil between realms thins. Synchronicities will cascade unchecked. The council murmured. Azrael, the gentle guide of souls, added, "We have seen sparks before. Saints, mystics, but never one that ignites so swiftly in a modern soul amid chaos. The protocol assumes a slumbering world where subtlety preserves balance. But what if the chosen ones begin to act as she did? Heaven must adapt, or the surge could overwhelm unprepared hearts." Gabriel unrolled the scroll, its surface alive with ethereal script. "Then we amend. No longer shall we hide behind veils when boldness calls. The chosen will receive affirmation, visions, signs, protections manifest." The orb flared as amendments etched themselves in fiery runes. Amendment first, immediate acknowledgement. Upon acts of pure alignment, chosen souls shall experience direct celestial communion, voices in the wind, dreams as prophecies, guardians visible in peril. Amendment second, amplified intervention. The scale of heavenly aid shall mirror the depth of earthly love. One act begets minor miracles. Chains beget transformations. Amendment third, lifted veils. Subtlety yields to clarity. Where chosen move with faith, heaven shall walk beside them openly. Storms parted, paths illuminated, adversaries confounded. Amendment 4. Collective Resonance Protocol. Monitor and enhance ripple effects. Empower other chosen through shared frequencies, accelerating the Great Awakening. As the final rune solidified, a harmonic wave swept the hall, a divine affirmation, like the universe sighing in relief. The archangels felt the shift. Protocols, once rigid as stone, now fluid as light. Back in Karachi, as twilight painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, Aisha climbed the rickety stairs to her rooftop. The city sprawled below, a tapestry of lights flickering to life. She sat cross-legged on the cool concrete, her mind replaying the day. Doubt crept in. How would she manage the week? But then a warmth enveloped her, not from the lingering sun, but from within. It spread like honey through her veins, dissolving fear. Suddenly, the air shimmered. A soft glow materialized, a figure ethereal, winged, yet familiar, like a guardian from childhood tales. "Aisha, chosen one," it whispered, voice like rustling leaves. "Your act has rewritten the stars. Heaven sees you. Walk boldly. We walk with you." She blinked, and it was gone. But the certainty remained. That night, as she slept, visions came. Not vague dreams, but crystal-clear prophecies of helping more, of chains breaking, of a world stirring from slumber. In the days that followed, the changes rippled outward. Aisha found unexpected provisions, a colleague's gift of groceries, a student's family offering free medicines. The old man she helped? He became a quiet advocate, sharing stories of kindness that inspired a neighborhood support group. Other chosen souls across the globe felt the shift, subtle at first, then profound. A teacher in New York forgave a debt, sparking community aid. A farmer in rural India shared his harvest, averting famine in his village. Heaven's new protocol hummed with activity. Angels dispatched signs, an arcbow after a storm for one, a timely rescue for another. The chosen were no longer isolated sparks, but a constellation connected by the threads Aisha had unwittingly strengthened. And so, because of what one woman did that day in a bustling market, the heavens evolved. The old ways gave way to a new era, one where love didn't just whisper, it roared, reshaping destinies and drawing the divine ever closer to the human heart. The story of the chosen was just beginning, and Aisha, unknowingly, had turned the page.